In this video, we are going to talk about top 10 most expensive travel vacation destinations. So before starting, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. There is no such thing as a typical vacation, but you can expect the following places to top the list of most expensive travel destinations. Tiny cities in Scandinavia, such as Copenhagen and Oslo, are still more expensive than virtually anywhere else. New York City is still extremely pricey. There is more. Any location that has ever effectively colonized the world is probably going to charge a pretty penny. Any location in which Ernest Hemingway, F. Scott Fitzgerald, and George Orwell have all been down and out around the same time that a global fine dining guide was being published is still going to draw tourists every month of the year. And any location that has built an entire economy around tourism is going to be competitive. Here are top 10 most expensive travel vacation destinations. So let's start. Number 10. Tokyo, Japan. Tokyo has the largest metropolitan economy in the world and combines a futuristic cityscape, scores of nightlife and business districts, with an immaculately preserved past in the 5 districts that make up Old Tokyo. Old Tokyo is located in the center of the city. Tokyo is a shining example that discipline is art and art is commerce. This can be seen in the city's astonishingly sophisticated gourmet scene, homegrown fashion designers, and the other numerous local cultural industries that are leading the world. Therefore, it won't come cheap. A night out on the town will either leave those who aren't already wealthy sober or impoverished, depending on the neighborhood. The going rate for a hotel with 4 stars is approximately $300 per night. Taxes are ridiculously expensive. The only reason that Tokyo is not ranked higher on this list is due to the fact that the yen has been losing value in comparison to the US dollar. Number 9. Cancun, Mexico. Cancun is significantly more expensive than the rest of Mexico due to its clout, which includes its white sand beaches, turquoise waters, a coastline studded with world-class luxury resorts, and a large number of historic tourist attractions such as Mayan ruins, ritual sites, lush jungles, and more. Despite the fact that it is located in a country that is relatively inexpensive to visit and reside in, Cancun is significantly more expensive than the rest of Mexico. In spite of this, hostel hoppers and budget travelers do not typically visit Cancun because so many of the city's businesses revolve around the resort lifestyle, and because a night spent participating in the resort lifestyle, complete with a hotel, dinner, cocktails, and taxi, can end up being quite pricey. Number 8. Copenhagen, Denmark. Copenhagen is unquestionably more expensive than a large number of other cities because it has a large number of restaurants that have been awarded Michelin stars, clubs that are happening and stay open all night, a wide variety of diverse but no less expensive accommodations, and vibrant pedestrian malls that are both hyper-modern and historic. However, there are many ways to experience the city on a budget, such as purchasing alcohol from a grocery store and drinking it in a hotel room or in public, or exploring the bohemian neighborhood of Christianshavn. Both of these options are great ways to see the city without breaking the bank. Number 7. London, England. Although London is no longer the dominant metropolis in the globe, it is still a very pricey location to live in. The value of one United States dollar is almost equal to 2 British pounds. If you don't look at the currency sign that's next to the numbers, it can look like a good deal, but it's actually quite expensive. The London Olympics added more to London's infrastructure and drew international attention. Of course, there will never not be Anglophiles flooding into the Tower of London or Abbey Road studios invariably seeking the ghosts of John Lennon or Anne Boleyn. The London Olympics added to London's reputation as a global city ghosts adjusted to taste. Having said that, a significant portion of a visitor's budget will go into travel and lodging expenses. Number 6. Sydney, Australia. The Australian nation as a whole is known for its high living costs, and Sydney is no exception. Over the past few years, the value of the Australian dollar has increased to the point where it is now stronger than the Danish krone, the Hong Kong dollar, or the New York City dollar. This means that the cost of living in Sydney and Melbourne is now higher than it is in Copenhagen, Hong Kong, or New York. So, what does this imply for the person doing the traveling? In addition to the exorbitant cost of the plane ticket, this also means that beers cost upwards of $10 each and that virtually everything else is prohibitively expensive. After all, the minimum wage in this country is greater than 16 Australian dollars. Number 5. Paris, France. Paris, another city that was once romanticized for its many starving artists, has developed into quite the economic hub in recent years. When a cocktail costs 20 euros, it makes it that much more difficult to be destitute in today's world. The city's hospitality industry is booming thanks to the presence of approximately 28 million newlyweds, Francophiles, and other tourists who have visited the city in recent years. These visitors have flooded the art-filled streets of Saint-Germain-des-Prés, as well as the banks of the Seine in the direction of the Notre Dame Cathedral. It costs about $360 per night to stay in a quality hotel, which implies that a couple may spend up to $550 per day, counting the evening and the morning together. Number 4. New York City, United States. A running joke in New York is that renting an apartment in Manhattan will cost you your soul, which roughly translates to $2,000 per month per show box if you don't count the cost of the Murphy bed. This is a common misconception. In the past 40 years, the artists of Greenwich Village have moved to Williamsburg, while Manhattan has been sacrificed to the likes of Donald Trump, Jay-Z, Wall Street finance folks, and whoever is still clinging onto rent control. What does this imply for people who are traveling? Well, an awful much for a semi-decent hotel. The average cost of a night at a 4-star hotel in New York City is $325, due in large part to the steady flow of tourists that fills the lobby of the Empire State Building and floods into Momofuku. When planning a trip to New York, visitors should anticipate spending an average of $550 per couple per night. This amount accounts for the cost of dinner, cocktails, and cab rides. Number 3. Stockholm, Sweden. It should come as no surprise that Stockholm, with its shimmering shoreline, impressive stone architecture, more than 100 museums, and extensive inner-city parklands, is an obvious choice for a vacation destination in Scandinavia. Because it is a wealthy city in a nation that uses its own currency and is not a member of the Eurozone, the cost of living there is extremely high. Number 2. Zurich, Switzerland. The Swiss city of Zurich is known as the city that never sleeps. Tourism in Zurich remains steady through both the warm summer and the snowy winter, at least for the affluent tourists who happen to be in the city at the appropriate times. Even outdoorsy nature activities like skiing in the Alps or lounging on Lake Zurich are expensive, but in town, visitors can expect to pay just over $300 for a one-night stay at a 4-star hotel, on average $40 for a cab ride, and the average cocktail or beer costs $11. But if you think about it, that's really just a drop in the bucket for the people who are going to the Alps anyway. Number 1. Oslo, Norway. Small and incredibly pricey, Oslo is typical of many other cities in Scandinavia. In fact, it tops the list of most expensive cities in the world, which shouldn't come as a surprise taking into account that Norway is so rich in oil resources that its GDP per person is comparable to that of Qatar. All that it implies is that tourists had best remember to bring their wallets if they want to see the original of Edvard Munch's The Scream or explore any of the city's other amazing centers of arts and culture with black cards. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.